up, everybody? We are back. It's Occultist Anonymous. You know, your favorite group of role-playing nerds who talk about things that are named Occultist Anonymous.
I mean, sure. I'll take it.
Yes. We are nearing the completion of our wonderful story set in the Ninth World using the Cipher system. The title of Rising Helix. Our intrepid characters are in a plot partially a consequence of their own actions and justified interests. You know, and we want to jump right back into that. But before we do that, as always, we'd like to thank those of you out there who support us, including Roll20 and our generous patrons, whose names are Adele, Aethernalis the Mad, Al, Alexander Williams, Alpha Wolf 2803, Alsrit, Bernie, Buck Gregory, Chris Handforth, Doc, Emil, Ethan Cobb, George. I am the algorithm now. I'm the real 06, James Winfield, John Fitzgerald, Josh Drew, Camo, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Melissa, Michael, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D minor, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Porter, Puppeteer, Raffio, Ryan, Sean Kelleher, Sheksara, Thomas Vogel, Tired Titleist tasked with transcribing tricky tongue twisters, Toast, Vincent Hamilton, Vortex Falcon 00, What's a Circle, Why Gender When You Can Serve the Iron Pyramid, and Sultan Kamini. Yeah, that was some great alliteration. That was real nice, real satisfying. Thank you very much for that. All right, so with that done, anyone remember where we are? We want to do a quick summary, something like that, before we figure out what's happening? No?
Drew?
Me?
We were all set to go have some cozy farm simulator and build up a society.
Yes.
And then somebody plugged their brain into...
It was a good idea, all right? I'm not going to try and explain this to you.
It was an idea.
Yes.
An idea.
I certainly got some information.
Yeah.
I found out who my mom is.
It's true. We were threatened, harassed.
Yeah.
Harassed, definitely harassed.
Made to feel like we had intentionally done things wrong when really we just sort of made the best choices available at any given moment.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We learned that the sort of competitor to a potential timeline transference that we had heard tell of before is Good Boy, the dog that we sent to the future, apparently.
That may or may not be a dog.
I told y'all in episode 1.
What?
That's the Aeon Priest.
That's what you said. I marked that.
It's not fair when the DM changes the plot to mix, the actually, no, that's how every DM works.
That's just baseline.
Yeah, the second that your players say something cool, you go, yeah, my notes are
Yeah, that's definitely true now.
That's definitely the thing now. Yep.
It's wonderful. Yes, all of those things happened. And of course, you were all doing that in the course of trying to find a way to perhaps relocate at least one of you to the family she lost and the
Two
people
of us.
she misses. Yeah, that's right, two.
The other who is now missing.
Yes, that's right. Where's Jack?
Listen, I have an excuse. I was plugged up to wasn't malevolent. I was plugged up to a machine. It's not my fault.
Anybody catch what I was doing? I was making a subtle reference to the theme song to a show.
You weren't saying anything about taking the sky. Oh.
Gotta get back to the past.
Okay.
Lattimore, Jack.
Oh, Lord.
Terrible.
Yes. It worked. Anyway, yes. That's where we are. It's okay. I found it funny and it happened. So, all of this is in front of you. And as we had discussed before, we are nearing the point which you can foment or precipitate your perhaps calamitous or joyous reunion with someone named Good Boy, who you justifiably assume is the person you met 1,000 years ago, or the dog you met,
The Aeon
the
Priest
being
dog.
you met, the Aeon Priest you met. Could be all.
All these things could be
Somebody
true.
else. All these things could be true.
None of
An
them.
experienced traveler.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now an experienced traveler.
Good Boy had an experience.
That's
Yes.
yeah, one way or another.
He had an experience.
I'm trying to remember. Did
Yeah.
we leave off with returning back to the elves and okay?
Essentially,
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that's basically what it was. Yeah, you were planning on doing that, and then one last minute thing before things were shut down is you chose to jack in, and then you had the encounter with Lanak.
Was not Johnny Silverhand after all.
Could have been.
we don't have
Keanu
the
Reeves
budget
is
for
immortal,
it, but
but
yeah.
he's not that immortal.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I was headed the same direction. It's like, listen, our budget isn't ready for this.
Yeah. So, when you get back to the Elves and Lattimore encampment, everything is in smolders. No, it's fine.
I built it better than that.
Jesus
All that shit is
Christ.
made of stone.
That's right.
It's like, that's one way to finish in 2 weeks.
Perhaps I had anticipated these last 2 episodes. So yes, go ahead.
Because I was going to say we have
3 years.
yeah. Thank you. And we also need to figure out what Jack is, and probably need to let Glaive know
Yes.
that Jack is missing.
Yep.
Not it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good job for Jack.
Sounds like a good job for the Jack.
I don't see why this is my fault.
Yeah.
It isn't about fault.
Yeah.
It's about who's
Well, who touched
best
their
able
nose
to
first?
cushion the blow.
You speak the same language, I'm just saying.
You're just going to show an image. Jack?
And then
Jack's
Jack.
on.
Yeah.
Jug?
Was there and then suddenly was not, and I cannot find him.
Big dotted line around his space and a little question mark in it.
Yes, exactly. Do you know where Jack is?
A chalk outline.
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't quite going that
Not a
far, but
chalk outline.
yes.
She is yelling again.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, we can just abstract it a little bit if we want.
If you like that, sure. Totally. So you are able to find Glaive wherever you like and inform them of what happened to Jack. And you see Glaive exhibit the first sign of something other than protective anger. Because
Retributive anger?
I was going to say retributive anger.
yes. And also sorrow, because Glaive is the keeper of sorrow. And the keeper of sorrow, as we discussed and you all acknowledge, right, is the person in the tribe at this point, right, who's responsible for maintaining an understanding of what has been lost as a consequence of things. And and Jack was the keeper of mirth, and that was the most important role, because once they lose their sense of humor, they lose their sense of hope. And so even though Jack was constantly, or not constantly, even though it seemed like Jack was sometimes chastened by Glaive, in reality, Glaive was trying to prevent Jack from making a mistake. And Glaive was also exhibiting some of their own struggles. But yes, you see, and Vet would definitely experience this, a flash of retributive anger and then genuine sorrow because they don't know what has happened to Jack or where Jack will be. So.
And that is also still very much not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Makes sense.
I feel like she probably did like take the focusing circlet back off and just try to sort of cast every bit of mental thoughts out she could trying to find him, and just got nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes complete sense to me.
Reuben will I think just it feels very affected by this because like we literally just did a rescue mission to save one group's hope, and then now we seem to have lost the other ones, and that's just pretty dog shit. And you know, still upset about whatever that conversation was, and like no, like we're not bad at what we do. We're just kind of doing things, right? And so Reuben's gonna just like sort of do a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spend 2 of my points because thank you, Edge.
I love it.
And I am going to reach into the data sphere.
Oh,
Nice.
yes, do it.
And I am essentially just going to like we've talked about Reuben, like his fire text and like his speed having like pixels and stuff, and I think he just like speaks in like whatever the like ninth world version of binary is, right?
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
modem sounds.
Yeah, yeah. Just I can ask the GM one question and get a general answer.
Yep.
Where is Jack?
Ooh.
And then you tell me the level of difficulty the question is.
Yeah. Where is Jack? Okay. As you know, before, especially in this context, I'll remind, I advocate and employ transparency. So I'm going to tell you basically the context for how I think of it, and then you choose a level of specificity, and I'll give you the difficulties associated with them. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Perfect. Cool. So, just like before, with you were trying to figure out how long it's been. The first time you asked the question about how long it's been, you chose just like a general answer, and I think it was like you chose like a difficulty 6 answer, and it was within like 500 years or something like that of the time. You have already experienced something like this, and you spoke with Lanak, so it's actually going to be easier for you to answer questions like this, and you've engaged the data sphere before, so it's not as hard. So I think if you want to know where Jack is on the planet, that won't tell you when he is, and that will just be difficulty 4. If you want to know where and when, that's difficulty 6. And you'll know when.
Coordinates.
Yes, that's right, exactly. Yes,
Cool.
and that'll be within about 500 miles. If you want to know precisely where he is and when he is, that would be difficulty 8.
Question.
Yes.
I have a similar action. Can I provide an asset to Reuven's roll?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool.
If Reuven permits that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just like you got your plug-in working on your head, and you're like, wait, hold on, I know what they're saying.
Wait. This time, let me plug in. It'll be fine.
No, not plugging into me. Reuven has no ports.
No, I my mental picture was actually like some kind of access panel on the side of Faye's head, just like just right here, man. It's good.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes,
fantastic.
Just quick. What does the scanner say?
All right, so an asset from
Yep. And you're welcome to propose anything else that you think might be a particular asset in this situation. So, as always, I'm open to lots of stuff.
I think it's probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is the thing when like Vet desperately wants to help, but just I've got nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings it down to 7.
Yep. Oh,
Want to
cool.
come shoot at me to take your mind off it?
Sounds good.
What's up?
Yeah. Heck
Hey.
yeah. Look at
You
that.
need all that effort.
No, but still, that's what I'm talking about. See, Experienced Traveler, Reuben knows translocation. Let's see, what did I say? I think I said, let me see, did I write that down?
I was going to make a joke, but
Go ahead.
I don't want
I
to
wanna
say
hear it.
slur on here, so
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say the C word,
Oh, yeah.
Not allowed on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For folks at
Alrighty.
home, I'm talking about cis.
Yeah.
People are less Twitter poisoned than I am.
Yeah, let's see. That's not what I wanted to do.
So, where's Jack? With my
Is he
Ralph
still?
said, I don't want to tell you.
Is Ralph still in the call?
He gone. Offline.
Oh. Okay, let's see here. I should be able to click this button. Hey, there we go. At least now chat doesn't have to look at our faces
Severed heads.
Such a floundering.
in like weird spaces. And actually, I mean, hang on, let me just move Chris real quick here. There we go. And everybody's where they are supposed to be. Wow. Chris, why is your camera? No, you are actually fine. It was more the window that I had you in was huge to the point that you were crowding into Ash's space, and that was very rude of you. So, yeah, hi guys, welcome to Cultist Anonymous, where we never have technical difficulties. Dude, Numenera has been cursed though.
Numenera has been a little rough. That's what we get for using first world tech to make a ninth world game.
It's very true. Holy crap.
Really wish this dog would be quiet.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Layla. Poor dog. She's just so mad because she's so old and so ignored.
She's being ignored, and I'm talking to you guys, and that's unacceptable.
Well,
Oh,
there's Ralph. Perhaps.
Hopefully.
perhaps a Ralph. He did just type in chat. Did Discord freeze for you all too? Nope.
No, it was just me.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's
We can hear you, but no picture.
happen again. So you could hear me the whole time?
No.
No.
Oh, you can hear me now.
No,
Great.
you
Okay.
like fully disconnected.
Okay, yeah. That was weird.
Welcome
All
back.
right. I think there's perhaps
If you didn't
some
want to answer my question, we could have moved on. Okay, it's fine. If you don't like that, I actually rolled well for once in my life.
It's the ultimate DM move.
It was an awesome.
Players.
Like, I'm just noping out of this whole thing.
No, there's too much ruining my blood. That's hilarious. That's a good point. Yeah, that was an awkward moment. Okay, so Jack is precisely in Jack's Haven at the moment that Vet is showing everyone the puzzle box.
Incredible.
Was he? Was he actually there when we were there?
No.
Yes, you now remember that Jack was there.
There's just a giant Lattimore there.
Yes.
Just looming in the background.
He was sitting in a corner with his hood up. Duh.
Yes, indeed. Mhm.
There are so many corners in that bar. How would we ever have seen all of them?
Yeah,
Like
it's
a bar
true.
of corners.
He was employing a trick.
Mm-hmm.
It was called misdirection.
It's instead of non-Euclidean geometry, it's super Euclidean geometry.
Everything is a
Many
corner.
corners.
Yes. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Reuven just goes, Now that's interesting.
So it sent him back? That's fine?
we figured out where and when he is. How was not part of the question.
And how did he get there without some major catastrophe happening? Because that's the math we've kind of done, is causing one of these translocations destroys everything around it, right?
No, not around it.
Yeah, so
Somewhere else. Yeah.
Somewhere else. So
There might have been a major catastrophe and we just don't know.
Yes, you only asked one question. It's possible that there was a horrible catastrophe that happened.
Yeah.
To send him all the way back that far to that specific place?
Ruben's gonna pointedly decide to not ask that question. Right.
Yeah.
Focus instead on telling Glaive that, like, they're okay.
They'll catch up with you in a few thousand years.
They're becoming an experienced traveler?
How?
I don't know.
By training with a bunch of other Jacks.
Was the beacon at that time and place on the list of possible translocation spots that you were able to access?
No.
Ruben, basically.
Oh, wait, you asked it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a question in character. I apologize.
Yeah, that was basically me asking Faye, who
Sorry,
had like tapped in and gotten the list.
That should go ahead.
But
you open your mouth and out comes the words no. Yeah, Ruben just tells Glaive that, like, he is where we came from. He was not there, but now he is. Now he was. I now remember him being there.
You have the two memories too?
Yeah.
Do we have two memories, or is it just no? It was always there. You just hadn't noted it.
You now recall him being there. However, you do recall not knowing he was there.
Right.
So it's not as though all of your memories have been retroactively overwritten, such that you don't remember what you just learned.
Right.
You now have the memory of him being there, but you distinctly didn't notice him. So either that was because you missed him, and again, he could have been employing a trick of misdirection, or this could be some consequence of an update, a retcon, through whatever process led to him now being where you were.
All this is incredibly complicated.
And it's possible you might see him again.
Jack's weird lives, yes. Live weird lives.
How would we see him again?
Maybe waiting for you somewhere in the future.
We do not live forever.
Nope. But we also have a fairly normal-ish, and like looking over at Blaze going, normal lifespan. Blaze, let's be honest, of the four of us, Blaze is the one who's most likely to like live to old, crotchety, wrinkly monk age. I'm going to fry. Yeah, I'm going to fry my brain out. You know, Reuben is jumping into another dimension, and well, you know,
it's coming.
Yeah. Jack's gonna do Jack things, man. Don't try and figure him out.
Above table, out of character.
Yes.
Earlier today, I remembered, or I realized what I want my last thing I say about this game to be. I'm
cool.
excited about it.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
It's gonna be good.
It's meta and it's great. That's a good joke, but
You know
it's
I love
also
'em.
poignant.
You know I love 'em. I'm so
Anyways,
excited.
Make sure you write
so
it down.
yeah. Um, if nothing else like pressing happens, then like, hey, we've got time skip things, and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I think generally we spend time trying to answer questions and also make sure these people can live together.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm happy to abstract some stuff. Just giving you, the space to choose what
Yeah.
things are important in abstraction, and we can move on. It's entirely up to you how you want to take it. Any specific things that you want to talk to the elves about, the Lattimores about, the community about? Any things you want to do?
Faye needs to double check in with Shore. I mean, the rest of the elves too, but he really just wants to check in on Shore. And also see how Joy is acclimating. Because we put her into a bit of a coma.
Yeah.
And then the Lattimores, if I remember correctly, were working on reestablishing her memories.
That's something that Vet and the Lattimores are going to do together.
Yeah.
I think that was at least partially supposed to be accomplished before we teleported.
Yeah, they've been working on it while we've been ferrying people back and forth.
Yeah.
It's Hope, right? Not Joy.
It is.
Yeah.
Hope, yeah.
Okay.
I keep doing that.
No worries.
I was
Yeah.
making sure I didn't have the wrong brain.
The reunion with Lon.
Yep.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Shore has been.
You said a problem before.
Insufferable, I think.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he has been. At first, it was endearingly obnoxious because he's so excited, right? And he just wants to tell Hope 100 years of conversations. And then he was a problem. And now I think it's coming around to being kind of sweet because after he was quarantined, you've seen him exhibit the first signs that he's capable of being dejected.
Oh.
Like, he's expressed like surprise. He's been startled and looks like the tinfoil ball thing that he does sometimes when he's like alarmed, right? But he sits stunned a lot, right? In the position, right? I'm dead stuff, but he never looks like depressed. After days of not being able to talk to Hope, it's clear that everyone else kind of forgot and gave up and thought it wasn't going to happen. But Shore was constantly thinking that eventually he would be able to talk to Hope again. And so you really, if anybody talks to Shore, they would learn what he thought about this, that he kept some things secret. He's so vocal, but he did keep some things to himself. So, but then you are able to, or the Lattimores and Vet are able to restore Hope's memories, and she is the first of the elves to actually have a much more intact set of experiences and recall of what happened, the plans for the community, the atrocities they witnessed that led to them moving through the ice cream, what it was like after they first got to this area, some over 800 years ago, and first started consuming the geodes. And she's the first to recall the experience of not being able to sleep and your memories slowly ebbing away. As we discussed, eventually that became the status quo, and they didn't miss as their memory, the first memories they started losing, right? When they realized, wait a minute, I have a chunk of my identity that's gone. It was horrifying, and they kind of came to terms with that. But then they realized that there was a progressive thing that was happening as they stopped sleeping. Then it was, re-traumatizing. But as that was going, as they lost more and more memories, there wasn't a frame of reference for them to recognize what they were continuing to lose. But Hope recalls that and then has to go through a period of mourning once again and relief that it's been restored to her. So she, after that happens, which she requires some time to herself. Before she talks to Lon or Shore, she wants to talk to you all.
Mm.
And yep. And she asks you the same question she asked before her memories were restored.
Mm.
What is your allegiance to the Convergence? So
None.
it doesn't seem like she's recalling the way she asked it before. It seems more evasive the way she's asking it this time.
Yeah, none. I like these elves here, but that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay if you all say the same things.
Have no
worries.
affiliation.
Blaze would add that I'm not fond of them for the way that they treated Faye.
I did not know that was a thing until I met Faye.
What do you feel about the Convergence?
They were my family. They were my home. And we came here to make sure they would never permanently die. I think when I was connected at the beacon, I don't remember everything that happened while I was there, but some of it I retain. It seems that my old memories took the place of some of those that I was forming in that state. I recognize that it's hard to say we, but we did many things some would consider barbaric. And unto us, barbarism was done. I ask because I cannot predict where our community will go from this point on. I hope strongly that it will be a force for good, at least in this part of the world, if not the rest as well. But we all know how things come to pass in time, how groups change, how mottos, and she looks at Blaze a little like apologetically, and says how what we thought of where we came from changes in our minds when we understand different things about it. And then she looks at Faye and says, and how sometimes the most horrible things that happen to us can create the people we are and allow us to do great things. And she like motions around to, where they are for those who need it when they really do. Hurt can produce people who hurt others, but can also produce people who help others.
So you
And
plan to move forward on helping others?
I do.
Because I have a doomsday switch for this whole place. Like, he's definitely saying that with, sarcasm.
She says,
Ruben
Good.
bites the bait. It's like,
Mm.
what? Why would you do that?
Nobody
Where?
else can have it. It's mine.
I'm less concerned about where you came from. I'm very curious to see where you go from here. I think that is the greater question.
Less of where you came from?
Shut up. Trauma and wounds, physical, mental, spiritual, people react in generally two ways, I find. They either say, it happened to me, why should it happen to everybody? Or they can say, I'm going to make sure that no one else ever has to go through that.
Or, you know, it happened to me, so I'm going to make it happen to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. So you have a choice collectively and individually on where to go from here.
I suspect that. Actually, sorry, I should pause in case that Ash was going to also contribute things.
I don't have a lot to add to this.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure I give you an opportunity. Hope says, I suspect that some in the community will soon feel as enraged and as they felt before we crossed the ice cream. Because, and then she goes to like the database and pulls up, on my desk, an image of that scar, I think, that not insignia, but that symbol that you all were aware of that was seen on there, like one of the faint memories, and shows that has been seen in a bunch of places. And I think that we mentioned in the course of you going through the database at the beacon that every time one of these translocation events happened, there was a cycle, right? There was a purging, right, or a persecution of the convergence or groups that developed technology. Then there was an acquisition of tronic amber, is rising in price, and it was outlawed or people were hurt, and then it was used, right? And you see that scar, and you see it in other places. And then you see that what's actually happening is that that symbol, when at first it seemed kind of like a crescent, was actually just kind of either faded or imperfectly applied the first time you saw it. And they have greater images and more relief, and it looks like a claw, like a 5-taloned claw.
I'm racking my own brain to whether or not I should recognize that.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the...
Make a roll on?
What you say? Oh, yeah, you can make a roll on it. Sure, absolutely. This would just be kind of like a pattern recognition, like hypothesizing what it might be. If you'd like to make a roll on that, totally fine. I'd say if Vet has the skill like figure out things that are important or the importance of things.
Yeah.
That definitely helps. That's relevant here. Stuff like that. This would be an intellect roll.
I have a history knowledge roll.
Oh, you know what? Because you tapped in, I would count it. This isn't something that I think you'd immediately be conscious of, but because of your exposure to that, and it'd be relevant for Reuven as well if you have a skill like that because you explored the database.
So it's an int check.
And what was the difficulty?
6.
All right. That's insane. 6 edge.
Yep. 6 edge and 29 intellect. Just don't ask me to run or lift anything.
That's right.
Soon I will be able to float off my own intelligence.
Yes.
That's again brainiac. All right.
Yeah, don't ask me to move or do anything physical, but I can think the fuck out of anything.
Yeah.
I got it also.
Nice.
Wonderful. Way to go. Fantastic. All right, cool. So you both Vet recognizes that there are two things that happen for Vet. Vet recognizes that, okay, one, which you're all probably thinking, this has definitely got to be the insignia of the group responsible for the convergent or for the persecutions, and they're necessarily also doing something to stimulate the scarcity of tronic amber and all of that stuff that's going on. You also recognize that there's no way this group, considering its occurrence, was around before the translocation that you were all originally responsible for. And Vet, considering the importance, recognizes that this must be some kind of the claw of a quadrupedal animal of some kind. And then Faye sees it and recognizes that from the history, there was a name of a group that had long ago, like right around the beginning of this stuff, right? The name Siron's Rise, Siron, which was insignificant. Yes, exactly. Which was considered insignificant right after the translocation. And then 200 years later, around the first cycle of the purging, and of course it took place over, years, right? A purging, and then everything going on with the tronic amber and rising, getting it, and then a big translocation event that they suddenly went from being some offshoot group, and their nickname were the Hounds, Siron's Rise. They called them the Hounds, right? Going from some small offshoot group that was kind of like marauding in the desert to being a group numbering 10,000 fold. And each of them wore one of these pendants.
So at
Do you
some point,
recognize?
Good.
So, do you recognize what kind of animal print it is?
The kind of quadrupedal animal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a canine of some kind.
I swear to God, good boy, if you went evil.
I don't know. The good boy was smart enough to do that intentionally, but
Right, that's what I was thinking
it's certainly
too.
been led down a path by somebody.
Or to have been adopted as a symbol?
Teleport somewhere, somebody backtracks how he happened and becomes a mascot for a bunch of evil people, and poor good boy is just over here getting pets and chew bones and has no idea. We must rescue him. Not saying that out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, look at all that happened the last time we tried to help them.
That's true. We
All
had
of
1,000
this.
years in the future.
Yeah. Can you say that your track record is the best in helping out dogs?
100%.
Yes.
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. I love it.
We reunited him with my mom.
we don't even know about that.
I know. And
we sent him somewhere and someone successfully.
Yes, you did. Yeah, he went somewhere and had an experience. That's right.
Yep.
So, Hope is sharing that with you all. You can continue to explore that if you like, or I can give you more stuff as we're proceeding with the abstraction and the time skip and stuff like that. What would you like? Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. So after talking to you about the convergence and expressing her hope for how things might be different, and sharing with you some information about that because she thinks it might be relevant and helpful, she then asks advice. And this seems like she's rather nervous about this because you have interacted with these elves over many years and more recently than she has. So she doesn't know what their state is going to be like and what they were like before. Of course, the memories are going to be restored to them because they're going to have some memories of what it was like to be in this place with the loss of memories and create this um, not abbreviated community, this community in stasis, right?
Stagnated.
So yeah, that's right. Exactly. And she asks, did Lon ask after me?
Yeah.
Of all the things that he lost, that was one of the few that he was able to hang on to.
She seems relieved by that. Some, teary-eyed relief and gratitude. And then she asks, for how long did Shore go without, what did I call it? I can't remember out of character what I called it. I was analogizing that to
Defragging.
fragmentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were analogizing to defragging, but didn't I use it another like ninth world term? Maybe I didn't. Okay, we'll just go
I think we
defragging.
translated it to us. Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. Without defragmentation.
It's like 100 years.
I mean, yeah.
Was he reset?
No, we just kind of restored him. So he's still Shore as far as we are sure.
You did some like repairs or recovered some memory from him or something, right?
Yeah.
Much like you, we did not reset him to the moment of the ice cream, but made him capable of accessing all the different
The data that had been lost to him.
He had the instructions on how the settlement should be developed. Except it was missing at step 3. Which appears to be why these folks never progressed past the river manses.
Yeah.
Heck, I think technically, aren't we still at stage 3?
Yeah, they were waiting.
We didn't get her back, and then
Your husband's been waiting to fuck you for 100 years.
Yeah. So she says, okay, thank you. And then she asks, I know this is a lot to ask of you because you have somewhere to go, but will you stay?
Yep. I mean, I will, but
For a time.
until the next possible safe translocation, at least.
Anytime would be wonderful. Then she, not to dismiss as you, right? Because she's doesn't have authority over
There's
you, but
no, like, power dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And does ask to embrace each of you in a really heartfelt hug.
Oh, that's
If
nice.
that's something you all accept. Yeah. And
I don't think we're a very huggy group within our group, right? So like it's like, oh, that's nice.
yeah, like amongst ourselves, nah. Other
Ruben's
people,
a hugger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ruben's a hugger.
Yeah. So,
do we want
Lon, we need to role play. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
I was gonna say for like when we get to like time skip stuff, do we all just want to do like one little zoom in part of like what you're doing over the time?
That's
Like
yeah, it's
one
great. I
project or
love the
one
suggestion.
idea or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I was going to give you information about lawn and shore. Um, it'll be brief, but I actually can do that after this, or if you want me to do it before.
No, do it now because
Go ahead.
then his time skip can be after the break.
Cool. You notice Lon's demeanor changed dramatically after the memories are restored and he has some time with Hope. Lon is super friendly.
Mhm.
And as you had surmised by being like, wait a minute, he's talking to Shore and Shore acts like a person and he's nice and he's talkative. Lon is a chatterbox.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I mean, he was
has a,
of all of them, he was the chatterbox before.
yeah, that's right. He has an excellent bedside manner because Lon was a physician, right?
Mhm.
And he chats and cracks jokes and stuff like this. And you can tell that Shore, when he's acting curious and interested and trying to make observations, Shore was just doing his best to try and be funny like Lon, but he wasn't able to do it because he didn't understand it. And Lon was sleep deprived for centuries. So if he's lethargic, Shore is getting the very muted version of Lon's personality and then trying to increase it to compensate. And it just seems like he's a weird little dude.
Yeah.
So,
To be fair, he is a weird little dude.
yes.
He's not trying to be.
Semblance is reality in this case.
Yep.
That's right. Way to go. Yes, exactly. You're right. That's right. And Lon and Shore become quite a useful pair in the community because of that. Whereas before, it was a rather unique trait that Lon exhibited. Shore can carry the part of the conversation that although Hope enjoyed, Hope isn't as extroverted as Lon. Certainly isn't like energetically drained by it, right? But definitely isn't as voluble as Lon. But because Shore is super voluble, it's super helpful in the course of how they're getting everything back and restoring cultures because Lon can bounce ideas off of Shore. And it seems really nice to Hope as well that she has not just Lon's restored personality, but a version of it that's really special and different in her life now as well. It's like they had a child, before they're going to have a child, right? It's nice to be like, oh, this is what it would be like, right? So, yeah.
I'm just thinking like how Faye actually handles this because he's gotten probably pretty paternal with the elves.
Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to figure out how Faye actually handles that, but it's like getting mom and dad together, but also my kids together. This is weird. I don't know how I feel about this. I think net positive on this. I'm going to go be alone with my thoughts for a second while I sort this all out.
To support that, have you thought about the possibility that Faye might have somehow, either through technological means or biological means he's unaware, actually have paternity to some of these elves, considering the time difference?
Yep, or just via the technology that he worked on as a kid. Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
Like all those experiments that were done on you as a kid, congratulations, this is how it bore out.
Yeah.
Cool.
How soon do people have kids?
Well, senescence is restored, then fertility, right? So as soon as Hope is back, they restore senescence.
Sure.
And they don't suddenly age to death like in The Mummy or
Right.
something like that, right?
It was something Ruben had considered.
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly assuage a concern, right? Because it's a legitimate concern in the ninth world. Who knows, right? Like, I'm going to tug on your heartstrings
Just go
again.
ahead,
All the
flip
people.
the switch and
You just watch them quickly age and wither and die.
I don't feel
Well, I think we would do a test case first. Let's be real. Like which
right.
elf wants to volunteer?
Which one is your least favorite elf?
Yeah.
Blaze, go pick out your least favorite elf.
Which emotion do you need the least?
Yes.
Go find the angry one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But relatively soon, people
Yeah.
start having some babies.
Mhm. Yeah.
Reuben, on top of doing technology stuff, becomes the community babysitter.
Yes. Oh, so cool. Yeah.
Because do you know how easy it is to keep up with babies when you can sprint
Oh,
so fast?
yes. It's great.
And I think you're probably the only one of us that has experience with kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's an unstated thing. That's Reuben trying to heal their own wounds.
Yes.
And Blaze being
Blaze
the
won't, yeah.
battering ram he is would just have pointed that out. Like, yeah, that's a great idea because you're the only one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you had kids. You had a kid before. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like vets definitely raised some.
Mm.
A bunch of street urchin
Temporary
kids.
adoptions of street urchins. Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's very Ash and Vet.
Yeah, that's one.
yeah, like setting up the safe place for them to live and providing for them and
Mm-hmm.
Also, I imagine telepathy is an amazing skill when the baby is crying and what do you want? Oh, okay, I know what you want.
Yeah.
that's a fairly recent addition for her though.
Right, but I'm just
So-
saying, in general, this is a very useful skill.
Yeah. You see, the Lattimores take to that very well too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, can you
Giant
imagine?
purple Bigfoot uncles.
Yes.
Well, and giant
Yes.
Lattimore babies too, right?
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Probably a longer gestation period, if I had to guess.
Mhm.
But
Indeed.
Mhm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh god, their babies are huge, right?
Right.
Yeah. They are now. Yeah,
Reuben
absolutely.
just like, I got it.
This is fine.
Are they born with their sort of fungal symbiote, or does that have
Mm-mm.
to be? Okay.
At least not according to the book.
Okay.
Mhm.
That was
These
just a random
do
thought.
seem to be.
Catch the
Interesting.
dose on the way out.
So I think I might have at least obliquely answered this when
Mm.
Reuben was hypothesizing about them, that there was a stronger relationship between the symbiote and the
Right, right.
Lattimores as they're both being attacked, and that's what led to them being larger and then manifesting even more powerful telepathy and stuff like that. So there are all kinds of stuff
Right.
that happened to them. And so they basically became one organism instead
Mm.
of just,
That's
a disjointed symbiosis. So
Very cool.
It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed they hadn't done the personality kind of switchy stuff.
yeah, seemed like just one.
Oh, yeah, it's just a lot of technology, like small technology projects, and then like turning onto this like community uncle
Oh, so cool.
sort of figure.
Yeah. Good to be an uncle.
Yeah. And like obviously we only have like 3 years or so, but like
Mm-hmm.
playing nights with toddlers, obviously great games,
Mm-hmm.
real fun.
You know what's cool about this too? Because of your collective studying of the process, working on it before, the skill of Lon, all of these very technologically capable people, Shore having some knowledge, Reuben being able to tap in the data sphere if desired to ask questions and all of this. You're actually able to control the gestational period very well to make sure the babies happen and people have great experiences, right?
Sure.
Low risk, all kinds of great aspects of their health and outcomes, right?
Sure.
It's just plenty of nutrition, just the standard things that can
Right.
sometimes vary accidentally, right? And so you're able to time it so that the first child is necessarily born to hope.
Mm.
Yet you don't have to wait
Right.
for 9
9
months
months
to
later,
make
yeah.
sure before you start having other children. So the oldest is definitely the one born of hope, but the next one is born a week later, and whatever timing you all choose.
Sure.
So Faye spends 9 months building the biggest nursery. It's like we're not doing this, guys. We're not scattering these kids every which way. We're gonna set up a central command post.
Yeah. So that's the cool part, because then they're definitely toddlers and they can speak to you before you leave.
I mean, if you leave,
That's right.
So that's a conversation that Blaze would be having with Faye. At someone, are we staying?
I am staying. I will escort you all to the destination point or departure point. I will ensure you get there. I will ensure that we can go visit the beacon and make sure that we can have everything arranged. But there's nothing back there for me. Some old heartache that I'm kind of moving past. Look over to giant community.
He built one.
Yep.
That's what he wanted to do.
And yeah, like I'll get you guys back there, but no, I'm not leaving. This is where I wanted to be this entire time. I just didn't know it.
So sweet.
Don't look at me like that and like looking at all. Well, actually, probably just Blaze. It's just probably just Blaze and Faye having this conversation.
I mean, yeah, for Vet, she's not even considering that you would go.
Oh.
Just that, of course, you're going to stay.
Yeah.
Like I have my name is on literally every one of these buildings. Like, why would I leave?
Why did you put your name on?
Every artist signs their work. What?
Mm.
You don't see me spray painting on these babies, then.
I didn't realize you were that involved in the baby creation process.
There's a Star Trek episode about that.
I just watched that one.
But
More than just like the shaping.
oh yeah,
yeah. You could. What does Blaze do?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody asks, he'll say, but otherwise,
because I mean
He's
that's
just kinda made up-
Faye's next question.
What do we, the players, observe Blaze doing for 3 years?
Blaze isn't making preparations to leave.
Okay.
Ooh.
How does
I
he
like
contribute to the community?
Much the same way that he was before, with training people for defense, but branching out a little bit from his hand-to-hand stuff, to make sure that they're able to carry on, because eventually he was going to die or drift off into the sunset or turn into a tree or something.
Not if I have my ways.
So he's trying to get some a core of folks to be worried about defense and hunting and monitoring and protecting others and that kind of thing. So that's what sort of throws himself into. I think he would also be leaning a little bit into Reuven to. He's become aware that Reuven's past is like a thing that he's carrying with him. So he would be sort of casually trying to get you to open up about those experiences as a way to express the grief that you're carrying internally.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Not in a like pushy, yanking it out of you, pulling teeth kind of way, but giving you opportunities to share about that experience if you wish, in a sort of casual, non-threatening way.
I think especially with like helping with the community and the kids and stuff like that, like there's a lot of like reminders and it's and there's barley.
Yay.
Yeah, there's like opportunities of like, this reminds me of then like you're halfway through a story before you realize that it's going to make you sad to tell it, sort of thing. If anyone has dealt with grief, that's I personally it's something that affects me. I'm like, oh, I remember this thing, I want to talk about it, and then like halfway through I'm like,
it's gonna make me sad. Yep.
And Blaze's view is like these were experiences that you live, so they're real. He doesn't make any kind of a distinction about it. I know that Reuven's talked about it in terms of gamification in the past and stuff like that.
right,
But like Reuven wouldn't engage with that; it was real,
right,
because it's real.
I mean, there's so much of like the way that they present themselves, especially as the campaign started, and the way that they talked. It's like I have to pretend that it was just a game, that it wasn't real, because otherwise it's
Oh my
So fucking
Yeah.
awful to have been ripped away from my life twice now.
Yes. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
I guess Reuven's attitude would try and convey that it's okay for it to be a
Yeah,
grief.
and like
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying is they do open up. They do talk about it, and there's plenty of like, nights around a campfire and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oh my god, you can tell everybody all the storylines.
Yeah.
The game.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that,
Mhm, yeah.
I will never not have a bedtime story, right? Because
Right.
no one's ever heard these before.
It's amazing.
So come around, kids. Let me tell you the story of how Uncle Reuven collected 37 deer antlers.
Believe it or not all deer have antlers.
And then everyone's like, yeah, the ladies don't have antlers. Like, no. These
No,
were
the
all
ones with antlers don't all
these were
have
all
antlers.
It's a biological mystery,
you-
kids.
Let me tell you a horror story. It's called The Drop Rate is 1%.
A timed
Yeah.
spawn.
Yes. That's so good.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, it's pretty clear Reuven's not making any plans to go.
You
Yeah.
Blaze.
They're Blaze, yeah.
I think both.
Yeah.
I mean, that's solidly the only one that wants to leave. Right?
Yeah. And I feel like that's
At least in any measurable time span.
it's like pretty obvious to her.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going. I don't expect any of you to come with me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Feel like there's a conversation here that's going to happen while we're driving in a car.
Yes.
The deep cut.
Mhm. I love it. Gonna be
Except
birds
this
around.
isn't a secret that she's springing on you last minute.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna open up old wounds. We'll move along.
Love it.
Cool. All right. So you passed the 3 years tending beautifully to the community and yourselves in the process, and reminding yourselves of the fact that although a seemingly omniscient being implied that you were making poor or hubristic choices because of their consequences, your actions were good and motivated by goodness and kindness, and whatever consequences befall you or others are not your fault. So, not going to dictate your feelings, but definitely I think there's a reminder in the course of what happens. It's like, oh yeah, this person is arrogant like an Aeon priest, because Aeon priests try and take this false objective perspective by removing the empathy from their observations. In reality,
all
the
context.
empathy limits your objectivity.
Right.
Yes, you have to have the context.
Yeah, and I
Basically,
think as
Lanak's
we-
full of shit. What do they know?
Yeah, as we move to this like confrontation time that
Yes.
Reuven expects us to have, it's just like very much like I'm going into battle armed with like the truth that we have done good.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not we're not just like four bumbling idiots that have idioted our way here now. Like we have just put in the work, and like
Yes.
and, in many ways it doesn't, like, we're trying to think of a less nihilistic way, but like it doesn't matter what the consequences of what we stumbled through before, because given the chance and given the opportunity to prove ourselves, this is what we chose, right?
Yes, exactly.
Reuven could literally be anywhere in the world.
Yep.
And this is where they choose to be right now.
It's wonderful. And it should be emphasized that this community is unique, at least as far as you know, in the history of the Ninth World, right? It's possible that other kinds of communities like this existed at other times in other empires, right? But you don't know of them. So it doesn't actually matter whether or not they existed. This is all you know of an example of this kind of thing, right? Not just interspecies, right? But the nature of the powers and the experiences of them. They've all lost stuff and had to carry things together. And then they all have to help each other deal with that grief and trauma. And then, of course, produce something that's new and really special. Yeah.
And when we come back from the break, time skip stuff.
Yes. All right. Woo. Yo. Yo, what's up, daddy-o? So, 3 years come and go like leaves on a tree. Your little new community saplings you planted, you hope for.
Little
there.
orchard.
Yep. And how do you make your departure? What does it look like? Do you permit ceremony? What do you say? Is it short or long?
Well, do we know how far we're going to have to go to this departure point?
Yes.
You give a ballpark of how far away, like in days of travel?
Mm-hmm.
None.
Well,
Instant.
exactly. I'm going to tell you how far away it is, but it is instant. It will take you. It won't take you any time to travel because Reuven can do it. But
I
it
thought-
is. Go ahead.
Oh no, I have to have been there before.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Fair enough.
It's like, I don't want to rain on Chris's parade, so do I say anything or do I not?
I forgot about that.
I was like, oh, you're sending us somewhere we've been before. Aha.
Yes. This is. I forgot
Been
to
or
say
seen.
this. Yes, been or seen. I forgot
there's a
to
way to
say
see
this in the course
yeah.
of this. I meant to offer a prompt in the time skip that there would have been opportunities for Reuven to find out where this is because of, accessing the beacon. You were all there. You were confirming that this was going to be the right place. Reuven could have asked the data sphere or traveled there rather swiftly by themselves and then come back to teleport people. I forgot to say that. I jumped ahead a bunch of
That's
steps.
fair. I also had some of these thoughts.
Yep.
Wonderful.
I mean, it's
Cool.
3 years. That's plenty of time
we did
to.
a real truncated time skip part.
Exactly. I had written down my notes. That's probably what would happen. I just forgot to say that because I was excited in what we were talking about.
So yes, so we can teleport. That's
Yes,
Okay.
you can. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it is 1,000 miles away from the community.
Okay.
It's like an afternoon.
There you go.
Shut up.
How long is the round? Because I can go very far in a single round.
Yep.
But at least as far as Faye is concerned, like 3 years, that's 2.5 years basically of focusing on the community, and then about 6 months beforehand, it's like Bilbo's birthday, but Faye style, and just he's gathering resources from the whale fall, and he's tinkering a lot more. And the day of the trip, he's busting out with like artifacts galore for the team. It's like, yes, he knows probably Vet is the only one leaving.
Yeah.
But there's also something symbolic about the group of us as a whole are, possibly separating. At least it won't be the 4 of us anymore. So yeah, he's busting out like long-term dusting it off artifact research that he's had for a long time. So there are primary color living armor suits for everybody.
Excellent. Great. Cool.
So we look like the freaking Power Rangers. Yep.
Yes.
And just, he's tinkered with stuff that, has been bothering him for, at this point, like 5 years, of like, I've had these things here and they probably would have been useful, but I've never had the time to actually sit down and put them together or the resources. There's always been something else, and it's like, well, if Vet's leaving, I guess now is the only time I can do it. So stuff like that, new ciphers, and probably laden Vet down with more artifacts and she knows what to do with. Just because it's like, listen, you're not gonna have Blaze to watch your back, or Reuven to kill all the things, or me to tell you. Actually, I've never told you what to do. That's just a me and Blaze thing. Yeah. At least if you're heading back 1,000 years into the past and maybe you're going to fix the future or something, I don't know. Here, take some shit. Because he's got like all sorts of wacky gadgets, like, hey, an automated cooker.
Mm-hmm.
It walks. It'll follow you along.
And just provide food.
I mean, you have to provide the food itself, but then it cooks it and just totters along, and yeah, it's an automaton.
It's like having pulled pork at in the vat at your disposal anytime you want.
Yep.
Delicious.
Blaze would definitely want to have like this is going to be a transition regardless of what's going to happen. I want to make sure the community is part of that. So if this being the 10th world in Blaze's head, fuckery is going to happen, we may not actually come back from this despite our intentions. So he'd want to give the community a chance to say goodbye and put themselves in the mindset that they might have to carry on without us.
Also true.
Cool.
Oh, and I remember the other thing, because I know Ash wants it, one of the little doggy storyteller automatons to go with you. Like, Faye knows Vet has probably been solo a lot, but Faye hasn't ever been solo. It's just like, what do you mean going by yourself? No, here, take friends.
It's just like overprotective parents sending their kid off to college, just packing you up with all the stuff.
Just don't tell him that.
I was going to say, Drew, I appreciate you for volunteering those choices, because I was going to present you with the option of making any artifact you want in the course of those 3 years, because you have time, you're watching children, you've already gone through the process of establishing the community, and after you have time to sit down, when you're no longer passing through Whalefall in a desperate search for someone else, you realize that you can produce IO from the marrow of these creatures.
Yeah.
So you have an effective, unlimited amount of IO that you want. It just takes you time to create them. So I think that you can effectively create or automatically pass a difficulty 6 creation test. Is that right? Yes. So yeah, any artifacts of level 6 or lower, you can do automatically. If you want to create artifacts of higher level, I would expect you to make a roll, or I'd require you to make a roll. So up to you.
Yeah. No, I mean, of the plans he's gotten, I'm sure there's some other stuff out there. Actually, that's true. Do you want a tendril graph too? Because that's on my list.
I told you at the beacon that you could gain access to an effective unlimited number of artifact plans if you spent the time.
Right.
So
A what?
A little venom hand.
Just like a
tendril arm? Yep.
Yeah.
Get it. I mean, yeah, that seems really useful, actually.
It doesn't have a mind of its own.
Nope. It does not. The living armor, however, as a telepath, that might be really interesting for you.
Thanks.
Things I don't have to worry about.
It doesn't have to talk to you. You can't hear it. During this time also,
yes,
that would definitely have been trying to find any information any of these people have, or that the beacon might have about Good Boy.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I want to know like what they know, what competing with him might entail.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna have to fight a dog? Or is Good Boy a dog? These people remembered him being a dog.
Yeah.
I figure there's 2 options. He's either going to full Garu or he's going to be a mecha dog.
Could be. That's right. I like that.
He's an Aeon priest, y'all. I'm telling you. That doesn't mean he's not also a dog, but be ready for tech powers.
That's smart. Vet, you're able to recognize that. Let's see. Here's something you probably would not have noticed, you all, until Vet looks into this. all experimentation on uplifting dogs has stopped in the past 1,000 years. It's something they did before, right? And
I mean, the
it
thing
didn't
is,
it didn't seem strange to Reuven that a dog can talk, right? Reuven's like, yeah, and you all have heard of like the uplifted animals. You're at least vaguely aware of that, right? But Reuven as an Eon priest is like, yeah, lots of animals get some experiments done on them or some technology so they can talk, right? And then Reuven being like, a dog can be an Aeon priest, right? Like there's nothing weird about that, right? There are other examples of non-human creatures, not just Lattimores of other visitants, right? But non-human creatures who became Aeon priests or the like, right? But you notice there's no evidence because sometimes it's harder to notice an absence than a presence. And then in the course of looking at information about good boy or dogs, you realize, wait a minute, there's no discussion of dogs being uplifted in 1,000 years. What's going on there? And then there's single vague references to a dog of superlative intelligence.
it's not a good boy.
Yeah. Like it was perfected. That is how it's referenced, right? It
Mhm.
is known that you can make a dog perfectly sapient in all of the ways, transcending human intelligence in many ways, right? Through the process, but it's only happened once. No one's allowed to do it again. That's the impression you're getting. It's not stated it's outlawed. It is just that it hasn't happened. There's no references to it. Like it was expunged, like it was there and taken out.
Society generally accepted that creating another evil overlord canine was a bad idea and just stopped doing it. Yeah.
That's right. Or
Society
somebody
said, "It's
stopped,
scared."
right? Or maybe they were
Aw.
doing it. Yeah, that's right. It's
Maybe
If
the
scared,
dog,
on the red button.
yeah.
the dog that got uplifted said this was a bad idea. Actually,
Yes, that could be it. Exactly. There's lots of possible interpretations of that. But the implication is that this might be good boy. Who knows, right? You know of a dog that was talking, and then you know that 1,000 years ago that dog had an experience, and you're able to notice that no dogs are having any experiences like that ever since.
No dogs go to heaven.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Screw, we have to
Yeah.
send that back. We have to fix this.
One dog went to heaven. No
And
dogs go to
Fucking
heaven.
good boy got to
Went up the
this
celestial
tunnel and
ladder.
broke the silver
pulled
ladder.
it up behind him.
That's right. Yeah, he went up a beanstalk of light.
Okay.
Light can be silvery white as much as it is yellow.
All right then. And I guess going back to your preparations for
Mhm.
heading out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's mostly trying to let the people have any sort of a preparation they might want.
Yeah.
Just kind of we all showed up, we helped build your society.
Mhm.
I'm aware of all the things that we have done to help you all and get you going started on your new life, and now I am leaving.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a however much fanfare they think is necessary.
Mm.
Like if they want to have a sending off ceremony, that would be fine. I'm not going to like start it though.
Okay. Yeah. They do. And they do something that Faye might be apprehensive about at first and might not have been aware of, but they do something they call a true convergence.
What you talking about, Will?
And the Lattimores are actually able to help with this very much because the original convergence, they're able to tell you, some information harvested from the beacon, and Hope brought back this little bit of data. The original convergence was a group of scientists who were in a mind meld, and their thoughts converged, and it allowed them to be more effective as a community. And then it led to them eventually becoming tyrants and crazed experimenters. And, it went off the deep end because they're all locked in some kind of weird, incestuous, telepathic engagement. And
Ultimate echo
those,
chamber.
yes, exactly. So as soon as the darker impulses are louder than the kind impulses, it just becomes an amplification event, and they don't have to talk, so it's hyper efficient. And then they're just, reinforcing that over and over again until it becomes the status quo, and that's what they do. And even if the ones who don't have telepathy aren't around, it doesn't matter because that's what the organization is founded on, right? But at first, it was some people just trying to get closer to each other for the sake of learning. So the Lattimores and Vet are able to facilitate a true convergence, wherein everyone shares the thing they're scaredest to say about someone else in the community.
I dig it.
You don't want to share your deepest fears?
No.
It's not your deepest fear. It's the thing you least want to say.
I guess that's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a fear.
Mhm.
You're scared to say, right? Like, at least
Right.
want to say, but it isn't the thing you fear the most in the world happening.
Right. And it's also not like the thing you like harmful thing that you necessarily want to say either. So okay,
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't have to be unkind necessarily, right? It could be, declaring your love for someone, your hope that they don't die, your wish that they would stick around, um, all kinds of stuff. Your hope for their, acknowledge me, senpai, that kind of thing. It could be, when someone's teaching you and you really just want someone to affirm you and you just don't know how to ask, like all kinds of stuff like that. Could be an apology, right? There's lots of stuff. And if you all want to participate, you can. And that's how you leave behind. That's how you leave this community. Is you cannot leave without sharing that if you voluntarily participate, right? Because it gives the community as well an opportunity to have one last chance to say things to you that they might have been reluctant to say while you were there.
Ruben will participate.
Cool.
Yeah, Faye will too. I'm just thinking of what Faye would actually
Yeah, I'm
say.
trying to think of what I would have to say, but I would definitely agree to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Most riveting part of any actual play when everybody has to think.
I've
If you'd
got
like an
mine.
opportunity, I can suggest some things from the audience. But go ahead,
I've
Chris.
got mine.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Reuven says it to Lon and Hope's child.
Oh, yes.
That who I think is like the most into all of Reuven's story about being a hero and a knight and everything like that. And Reuven says that he's how's he phrased it? He is deep in his heart devastated to know that one day this young squire will have the horrible experience of their mentor being gone. In one way or another, either he will be gone or he will be killed or something. And like the strength of the bond that he's formed with this child is like one day will be a source of sadness. Hey, sorry for the downer note.
Well, I mean, in the nature of the question, that's going to be one of those things.
Yeah. I think Vets is towards Faye.
Mm.
It's kind of a selfish regret, and that, like, I really hope that I can leave and you can stay here and everything we've built here continues. But ultimately, that's not going to stop me from leaving.
Mm.
And I feel bad about that, but that's not going to stop me from going. And just, I hope that it's okay. And like, I kind of just sort of have to blindly believe that it will be, because I won't know.
Yep.
Of all of us, you're the only one that won't know what happened.
Yes. And it's just sort of a preemptive, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if I
In
delete
case
you
it
out of
isn't.
existence.
Yeah.
No, that actually that works real well, because yeah, for Faye, I don't know that he necessarily has it to a person, so much as like to the entire community, because he's already making very lichy kind of plans, because like the
Yeah.
idea of his mind continuing on in a machine, well, he's halfway there anyways, but he's like,
Yes.
I'm afraid that there will be a time in the future where I am not here for this community. Like he is full on like planning decades, centuries down to be just like the AI, integrated into the entire city, omnipresent, not dictator, but like helper, and like, oh, a new kid was born. Don't worry, new crib being made, right? Like just to be, and it's like, but what if I don't do it, and you all are left without somebody like me? Very Morden, somebody else would have got it wrong. Had to be me. Yeah.
Yes.
I am not the RoboCop of the city. Don't you put that on me.
You have 15 seconds to comply.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Greg.
You're the city's Alexa.
I'll take that. Cortana.
the voice everyone talks to when they need something.
Yep.
For most of the time here, James will say, we've all been focused on survival and building a foundation. But there's a lot more to life than that. There's art and poetry, the rhythms and words that fill your heart and move your soul. Whatever happens, I hope that you are able to grasp that and let it lead you to greater things. Maybe our paths will cross when this universe folds in and makes another. Maybe at that point, when all that is and all that's ever been collapses into everything else and is remade, our paths will cross, however briefly, and our terminus become a junction. It may be a long shot, but I'd take it, and hope and trust that our paths will cross again.
That's beautiful.
Dang, y'all.
Yeah. There is one thing from the community that might intrigue you, which is right before it seems like that is it, and everyone has had an opportunity, Shore pipes up. And Shore asks if Shore may share.
Of course.
And Shore turns to Lon and Hope and says, I do not wish to live without you. Will you reset me when you die?
I got you, little buddy.
I'm gonna cry.
And they look at Faye and they look at you all, in part because they're shocked by the question.
As mortals, our gift is our impermanence. I can understand Shore's desire.
Yeah. Faye's already got plans. He's like, cool, that's what you need? All right, no problem. I got plans.
I got a button built already.
No, actually, more Faye's thinking, because Faye is the other side where he's like, no, I will live forever. But for sure, he's like, no, that's cool, because we'll just put it in the will who, not sure, but that unit, right?
Yeah.
That body, what new family will it go to?
Yeah.
You know, in their passing, and, you know, as part of their will, and don't worry, Faye will take care of it. Like, we could definitely arrange that.
Lon and Hope look a bit relieved to not have to then direct, because Faye says that and Blaze affirms that it's a legitimate desire, and if Reuven expressed a shock at the question and like communicated its, you know, appreciation for the sensitivity of it, and I imagine Vet as well would do that as well, right? Then Lon and Hope would look really relieved at all of your reactions, and in particular Faye just saying I'll take care of it, because they didn't want to have to say yes, we'll kill you, right? Because
Yeah.
that's how they think of it.
Mhm.
And Shore thinks of it kind of like that, right? But again, Shore still is, you know, like, this will just mean I don't have to be Shore without Lon and Hope, right?
Yeah. That you don't have to live on
Yes. I don't have to experience
without
what
them.
it's like. Yes. But Shore isn't like destroy my body. Shore
Right.
is
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to be me if I'm not with you.
Shore doesn't want to have memories of them,
Mhm.
is what it
Yes,
comes
But
down to.
yes,
Yes.
this
At
unit with
point,
all of its knowledge and all of its
Yes.
data will
Yes.
continue on.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then Shore looks happy again right after it, you know, like a little bird like, not like a little bird like, hopping about, right? As though he didn't just ask the most serious mortal question.
You ever think about death?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
happily turn to him and be like, so, will you kill me when the time comes?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'm going to sit you down with his first world movie called Barbie.
Mommy, daddy.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. So moving on. Yeah. So with those wonderful words and those expressions, right? They all that's it, right? Like that is the ceremony, and you all can then go on your way.
Which I imagine we don't teleport directly out of the middle of town. I feel like there has to be a we walk out of town kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Walk to the edge of Whalefall. From where do you want to teleport to where you need to be?
I mean, personally, Faye is definitely set up like some outside of town, beyond the town walls, like a like caravan type. You know, visitors can stop there, like
yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
helicopter pad. Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like, you don't just get to ride into town, buddy. You could park out there and we'll come inspect you. But some area like that, perhaps.
Mm.
I mean, not that we get a lot of visitors, but it's a thought that counts.
Yeah, that did make me think of, like, in the time we've been here, have we encountered anyone else? Nope.
Seems almost as though the ice cream functions like it was originally designed, right? You know, there'd be this like protective region. And then Whalefall is, functionally impassable to everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have restarted the community if they had had help before then, if somebody had found them in this sleepless state for hundreds of years, right? Who knows? But no, they're in a period of stagnancy, isolated by two almost completely impassable physical barriers.
True.
It took some experienced travelers to come through it and help them out. And
That's
now
true,
they're
'cause
hitting the old dusty trail.
The river that they were on, basically, because it goes past or through the ice scream.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we probably just head outside of town.
Okay.
Because the teleport isn't like a big thing, right? We just kind of
Instant
go.
transmission is my mental picture.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
Chris and Reuven.
Chris described it as like the pixels moving through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Super
Switch onto
cool.
the data stream for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
The live stream, what?
But yeah, so I feel like we step out just sort of out of the middle of town, not out of sight of it.
Fantastic.
Please would want to make sure that there's a visual separation from us before we actually do the teleport to
Yep.
give them that final sort of.
You watched
context.
us leave. Yep.
Mhm.
That's great. Are you going to go back into Whalefall? Or are you going to stay on the north side of it near?
I think just out of sight
Yeah.
Mhm.
of the town.
That
Don't have to
sounds
go
good.
that far.
It'll be like you just walked away and that's it. That's beautiful. Alrighty. So you initiate this teleportation. And you arrive. It's been 3 years. You know that things are going to happen around a certain time. You arrive, and because Reuven had already scouted out, so you all in character know this, but out of character don't know, right? It is a heavily devastated and volcanically active landscape. There are spars of obsidian, along with. Go ahead.
Just to clarify,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yellowstone volcanically active or like Hawaii in the middle of an eruption volcanically active?
The latter.
Okay.
Yes. So you arrive in a place that is filled with spars of obsidian, along with rivers of magma, which is clearly the result of some kind of, to be honest, fucked up event.
Cool.
Yeah. It is hard to tell if there was anything here before.
I figure even odds that this is what Jack's translocation caused.
Possibly some translocation.
Mhm.
Yeah. At this point, you're certain that some translocation event caused this to happen. Based on some history knowledge, there must have been something here before. You're not entirely sure what. And the reason why is whoever or whatever was here before doesn't have strong records in the history. So it could have been a community that was there for a short while, or it could be that it just got erased from whatever records are available. But it is obvious that within, which Reuven was able to confirm, was it 100 to 200 square mile area. It was as though all of the magma suddenly erupted and then created this pooling environment. So whatever was here before, would have been totally obliterated by a massive eruption.
So I know it's probably a little late to ask this question,
Go
but
ahead, yeah.
are we sure that this isn't going to do the same thing to the folks we just left?
Yes.
For
Because
sure?
that is the whole point of the beacon. And our home is not on the opposite side of the globe. as that has been the standard process for these translocations.
That we're far away, but not that far away.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
going to
Right.
hope this doesn't happen.
That's why we waited 3 years for this.
That's why you
Yeah.
waited 3 years. 'Cause the
Hope this
first in
doesn't happen
1,000 years-
anywhere.
Yes.
And hope that if it does, it happens somewhere far away from this community, at least.
That's right.
Mentally,
You-
Faye is already cataloging the ways to prepare the town for instant magnification. It's like this is in my head now. I got to fix this.
This is a thing that can happen, huh? Okay.
Put like
You are-
iron boat hulls under all of the houses, and
I gotta start thinking about it. All right, give me a second. I haven't come up with the answer yet.
Totally. You are aware. So I'll confirm something. What you learned at the beacon was, it's usually it's almost invariably the case that these translocation events result in some calamity, right? The reason why I say almost invariably is that you specifically learned or were told that this particular situation is a possibility where you can have a translocation event of one sufficient magnitude to send you back in time if that's what you chose to do, right? Because it can do a lot of things. But also, if you apply your knowledge well, avoid screwing over the other side of the world. It might limit the potential of what you do, right? Because just like with a rocket, right? Thrust is going back down in order to shoot it up in the air. If you reduce the thrust so that it doesn't damage the ground, then the rocket might not go as high, right? You don't know what the outcome will be. Just that here in this moment. Go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Just the
I'm
barley.
pointing at the dog
Oh,
that
okay.
wants to go hide and
He's trying to
sleep
get his
on my
hiding
shoes
spot.
Aw.
because
You've
there's
locked him out.
thunderstorm for the 5th day in a row.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, geez.
Such a frightened boy.
He's on the
Yeah.
edge, really.
Please
So,
continue,
yes,
Ralph.
it's a possibility. It's a possibility. You have to be deliberate about it, and it will be challenging, but it will. You have a chance that you can definitely get an outcome that is much more desirable than all the outcomes that have come before. And you're here, in this devastated area, knowing that at some point you're going to likely encounter who is going to compete with you for the opportunity to do this. And there's a gentle wind blowing across some pools of magma. These obsidian spars are poking out, and you realize that you're in the center of what looks like an upthrust talon, each of them almost the perfect representation of the symbol of Sauron's rise. And then that moment you hear a dog howl in the distance. And Reuven feels a dimensional shift. Like someone with the power to do what Reuven does.
Mirror match.
Suddenly coming here. Vet feels some telepathic presence. Blaze's tattoos start to glow.
of their own accord.
Yes, of their
Great.
own accord.
Okay.
Gently, almost in response. They fluoresce.
In resonance.
Yes, exactly. And Faye's implants feel a bit more vibrant, plugged in. You feel some quivering in your spine.
Need to
as
spend some
though-
XP as a GM, as a player intrusion. No!
Reuven sort of leap, teleport, sprints to
Yes.
get on top of one of the spars.
Fantastic.
And
Awesome.
you suddenly have a cloak that's now fluttering in the wind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes!
No, I don't suddenly. Reuven has had a billowing.
That's true,
this
yeah.
entire
That's
series.
true.
I
That's true.
established that in session 0.
That's true. That's true.
You just haven't got many occasions to stand dramatically on top of a precipice.
Absolutely, it's there.
Fantastic.
It's like, the environment's like,
raised with
Yeah, hand and a fist on his hip, his cape sort of flowing out behind him in the wind.
That
Image
is awesome.
key.
I should really
Fantastic.
have a rapier right now, but we'll make do.
Yes. And you see 10 armored individuals approaching, escorting a palanquin on which is sitting an enormous dog. Looks as though the fur is, instead of silvery white, lambent. Perhaps it became silver, yet still has the resemblance of actual fur. The eyes are almost like the milk of cataracts, but clearly don't look like they cannot see. Like the effect of age and passage. The muzzle of this dog is the only thing that betrays the passage of time, and it is hoary gray and gaunt. Like this dog has been through a long time and a lot of experiences, and it is the only thing that looks like it hasn't been touched by some type of technology that influences its body. And around the neck of this dog is the pendant you recognize that you first saw and you fixed so that good boy could speak. And the palanquin and the 10 individuals come to the base of the claw. They stop, not abruptly, but slowly, when they see Reuven come to the top of it, cape flapping elegantly and dramatically in the wind. And
One
you
knee
all,
up on a rock, like
yes,
yes.
exactly. And the palanquin stops. The individuals stop. They don't move. The wind moves a little bit. And then who you're assuming is certainly good boy, you recognize now, having gone through some experience, opens his mouth. And you hear it despite the distance. And he says, "Hello." "What do you intend?"
Reuven's got the spotlight.
And you are the one good with animals.
I intend to find out if you've been a good boy.
A rictus appears in that hoary muzzle, an expression that is quite strange for a dog to use, and one you did not see good boy to use. And good boy says, "What is good?"
A great answer.
And slowly blinks those milky eyes. What is good? What is bad in pursuit of a goal, if the goal is noble?
I'm sorry, did you just say the ends justify the means?
You're all here.
Of course, we're all here.
You were all where it started.
You didn't answer the question.
What do you mean where it
Yes.
started?
Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
What do you mean where it started?
Sorry. No. What he says, you were all where
Oh.
it started.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
I realized
brought
that
us
I
here.
jumbled that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wasn't sure I would see you again. I didn't go where I wanted to be. And I've spent 5 millennia attempting to get where I want to go.
Blaze mentally is upping the counter from 10, 11, 12.
Time passes differently for dogs. When dogs are translocated, and then they stop, it says, when I was translocated, what was 1,000 years for you has been 5,000 years for me. 5 millennia. I will find her. If I have
You
to
haven't?
destroy the whole planet to do so.
You haven't found her?
Good boy pauses and says, I thought where I was going would be where she is, but it was only where she was. It seems she now chooses where to be when she wants, and she will not leave me behind as she once did. She thought to restore Sirius into its union in the pair.
The conjunction.
She thought doing so would right some physical wrong. Instead, she went there and transcended. She said she would come back, and she did not. And if she will not come back, like a hound to a master, I will go to her.
You come home with me.
Good boy barks in laughter.
I mean, I've talked with her.
She spoke to us.
What?
What do you want? I told you. You're a smart dog. Like, Faye has headed up to here. As soon as you utter any kind of means justify, or the ends justify the means, no.
I thought surely you would have found her because we weren't trying and we did.
Yeah.
Something, you're a dog, she's a bitch.
She knows of you. She spoke of you.
What did she say?
She said you've had an experience.
He also said you weren't exactly a dog anymore.
Good boy starts laughing like a hyena.
See,
when
it's this kind of
what?
stuff.
Yep. You start, you say that good boy's had an experience. An experience.
It sounds like an understatement when she said it.
The words of the selfish.
So you admit she's terrible.
No,
Why pursue?
I admit she has limitations. But I have found how to correct those limitations.
Oh, good.
I don't think she has a physical being anymore.
That sounds like a limitation to me.
I think she has become something else, and I don't know that you could be with her even if you found her.
There are ways.
Yeah.
I mean, we could show you where we found her, and you can see if you could find her in the system.
I think that way holds no hope.
Not anymore.
That
It
way
used to have hope.
Yeah. Same joke, different jokes.
Just like slapping you.
Trying to set
You ain't
y'all
slapping
up.
me.
Yeah.
Slapping the one I can reach.
Good boy says, I have found a way to transcend as well.
You just haven't?
And what devastation will that cause in another time, in another place?
He doesn't care.
I do not care. One of you gets it.
Then you're a bad dog.
I don't want to say it because mine is right
that-
here.
Yeah, that carries in the wind, and you feel you witness what seemed like the stalwart individuals stiffen ever so slightly,
Right?
and good boy's maw opens just a little bit, just a slight snarl, like in revealing heavily controlled emotion, and there is a cracked, jagged tooth on the left side. And good boy says, "It seems, despite the changes in myself, I still retain some feeling towards you." I will countenance that blight with few others, because I am here to perform a task.
And what are you planning on doing?
I plan on transcending.
What, like Mom did? I mean, Elkanah did?
Yes.
Did you know that, by the way?
Know what?
No familiar resemblance, apparently.
So when you said mom, right?
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't
that was
catch
me.
that you meant no. He
Okay.
didn't catch that you meant your mom
Mhm.
because he just thought you
His
were
mom.
talking about
That's true,
his
yeah.
mom, and he is so focused on this. So
Do I not look like Elkanah? I mean, obviously, there's some.
what?
Yeah. Apparently.
Hmm.
I'm still iffy on that too, but my source seemed pretty adamant about it.
I see.
Blaze just says, what comes next is not something we're taking joy in. We did everything we could to help you. It was our hope that you had ended up where you wanted to go and that you achieved the things that we were looking for. I'm sorry that you didn't. And then he drops into a fighting stance.
Oh yeah.
Kick this dog's ass.
Poignant words and choice of action. And the good boy says,
I hope I didn't cut anybody off there or anything.
No,
If
you're
there's
good.
more people on the
Great.
stage, I could
Great job.
good boy says, "Do the rest of you desire to bandy about words? Or shall we decide who gets to accomplish what they came to do?"
You act like I can't do that at the same time.
And then good boy chuffs, and his tongue starts hanging out of his mouth like he's panting in anticipation. And roll initiative.
Oh, yeah. One more last liner.
Oh, go ahead. Go. Absolutely. Sorry. I wasn't trying to stop players from doing that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You will have only one chance at this. And I ask you to remember, if scared, paw. And then leaps off of the fucking
Yes. Yeah. All right. Good Boy is now quite a challenging opponent.
Yeah, I bet.
After 5,000 years, Good Boy has become a very good dog, but not a good dog, right? I just,
Very bad. Dog.
Yeah.
very bad dog, but he's quite a skillful dog, right? Quite capable.
Right. Challenging is only difficulty 5.
Got him.
Got him. Right. So Good Boy is difficulty 8 for initiative. Won't necessarily be the case that that is the difficulty for everything that happens.
Hey, look, I
And
failed.
Good Boy is accompanied by these
I
individuals.
rolled good.
If one of you succeeds, you all get to go first, as usual.
I don't think I can succeed.
Craig, how many like training or things do you have in initiative?
I am trained.
Can you spend effort on initiative?
Yeah, you seemingly rolled without inputting the difficulty, so
Yeah. I'm updating it now.
You can, anyone can spend effort if they set to that. It's just a skill roll like anything else. So if you want,
I'm not going to waste it just because
It
like,
just determines who goes
legitimately
first.
the only person that has a shot.
They can succeed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled an 18.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I should have spent effort.
With
Mhm.
5 edge, I get 3 effort for free. Is that? Am I doing the math right?
You get 2
to
effort
it.
for free.
Yep.
2 effort for free. Okay.
That's 17, 20.
Nope.
Oh!
I mean, you already had your roll, right?
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
You just bring the rank down from 8 to 6.
Let's say the 14 wouldn't have won.
With your 2 free effort, you beat it, right?
Oh, did I? Okay. If we can do the math.
Yeah, because it was difficulty 6. Oh, excuse me.
Or no, it was 8.
8,
Right.
yeah.
It was difficulty 8. You rolled a
Difficulty
14.
8.
Yeah.
You rolled a 14. Yep.
And you're trained.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that brings down training would be 1 and specialization would be 2. Yep. So did you spend extra effort? Is that what just happened?
I spent 2 effort.
The 2 free.
Just 2?
Then, yeah, it
2 free?
passes.
Mm-hmm.
I get 2
Okay.
free basically just from my edge.
All right. Yeah. So you got training, right? Which gives you 1. Then the 2 free effort would be 3 effective levels decrease. Then you get 1 more in order to get up to a 15.
So spend 2 points.
Yeah, you just got to spend 2 points. If
Okay.
you spend 2 points, you will automatically do it. And that's why
I'll
we do
spend 2
transparency. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Perfect. Cool. So you all get to go first. What do you do? It's
What's the
definitely more interesting
range?
than you do. Long range.
I think I can make that.
I think it's
So-
specifically within the range of all the various abilities you all have to engage someone.
I mean, I can do it, right?
I know.
But I'm impaired because I'm able to close the range, but it costs me an impairment to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So Blaze will just explode in a big cloud of dust as he sprints
Yes.
across
Yes.
and makes a medium unarmed attack.
Ooh, do it.
Quick
Am I able to
reminder.
get to the palanquin?
What?
Am I able to get to the palanquin, or do I have to go through the guys first?
The individuals are around the palanquin, but you can engage the palanquin. Is your target Good Boy? Is your target the individuals?
I think my target's going to be Good Boy.
I'm gonna run up
All
and
right,
drop
sounds
kick this dog into the lava.
Do
Yep.
it. Do it. Go and kick the dog. That's fine.
All right.
Well,
Let's
real quick before that, Drew was chiming in with something.
Your living armor sheaths that you are all now wearing.
What does that do?
Yep. Might defense task for poison and disease probably won't come up too much. Is eased by 2.
Mhm.
And then everybody has +2 armor, but has none of the penalties associated with armor.
Sick.
That's what I was wondering because I don't have any armor skill.
Right.
So I just get 2.
This is why I brought it for myself, and then I realized everybody else is running around unarmored as like, oh, shoot, yeah, everybody would enjoy these. Your call, dude. It's
Some of my stuff is kind of contingent on not wearing armor.
it
Mhm.
How so?
Train without armor.
yeah.
Asset to speed defense tasks.
Yeah, because it does technically count as armor. So
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
Oh.
so can I wear it then?
mhm.
You can.
Yes, it's Blaze specifically that has issues using his abilities with it. We don't need
Okay,
training
so-
for it.
Okay, so it counts as armor without any of the drawbacks because it's alive.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's only
Including
plus
if you
2.
aren't trained.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
therefore,
Okay.
you don't need to worry about it.
that's rough, bud.
Yep.
Why
And it
is
is important. Make sure you're all tracking your pools.
Mhm.
hmm
Why is it 10?
The cost 10 plus 0 minus 5. 5 edge. Let's see. Rolling. Spent. I think maybe a power. Is that right?
No, I just had roll effort. Was
You got
3.
4. That's a
That should
4
only be
effort. Is that how much you
7.
applied?
No, I
No,
only
3
put
effort.
3 in.
3 in.
Did you apply
final
any
result.
to damage effort?
Yeah,
No.
no damage effort. Minus 5. Let's see. You spent 10 points. Do you have a power you activated?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. Effort cost equals
2 plus 0 from armor.
3. So that's
7.
3 levels of effort plus 3 times 2 plus. Hmm.
Yeah, that math is not accurate.
Hmm.
That's the only time
Yeah.
it's never. It's not. It's
Right.
inaccurate.
It
So.
should be there. There's something. You sure you don't have something clicked? Oh, you're impaired. That's why.
Oh, the impaired increase the cost?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Being impaired increases the cost of effort.
Why are you impaired?
Because
Because
of his
I'm-
move.
I just sprinted 100 meters
Ah,
in a couple of seconds to land my attack.
I see.
Just
so-
impaired for the turn, I think.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
that's
it allows me to close the distance immediately, but I am impaired on the attack roll.
That's right. And
Okay.
each level of effort costs 1 additional point.
Hmm.
So if
Oh,
it's
okay.
3 levels of effort, 7 plus 3 would be 10.
Okay.
Okay,
Good job, team.
Yeah. Way to go, everybody.
you got there.
Awesome. Everything is awesome. Yeah. So Blaze moves, or Mr. Daveron blazes forward, skipping across the magma like a demon, moving into the position to strike Good Boy off the palanquin dramatically. And Good Boy suddenly isn't there when Blaze attempts to punch or kick, and then is just slightly off, as though the dog has trained in martial arts while seated. And Reuven detects again that kind of like dimensional shift effect.
This fucking dog stole my powers.
Stole or mimicked.
Yeah.
So the stats I also didn't say. Good Boy has 40 HP and 2 armor, and he's level 8 for most things. Some things not. Some things it'll be easier. Nothing will be harder than level 8 when engaging Good Boy.
How many of these palanquin guards can I be within immediate range of?
All of them.
Sick.
Yep.
Reuven will sprint.
Mhm.
One thing.
Oh.
You have physical weapons, right?
Mhm.
Before you run, I want to take the density nodule cipher I have and stick it on you.
Ooh, cool.
I mean, you even could have done that before this, right?
Totally.
We knew
But
we
yeah,
were getting into a fight, so
Now the fight is
As
starting
long
to
as
go
that-
on. I want to give you that.
That's the same thing that Drew did before, where it adds.
It
damage.
adds an additional 2 points of damage.
Sick.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to say, create whatever artifacts you want. Make sure you have all your stuff. And then say, actually, can't use them. Oh, you didn't clear ahead of time. No. I want you to do awesome
But yeah,
stuff.
Just you do an extra 2 damage because it's only level 3. Anytime you do a hit.
Wonderful.
be
With the
useful.
weapon itself.
Yes.
Similar to mine.
This
Yeah,
next,
it
like, for
has to be
example,
affixed to something. Yeah.
In order to
next
make this
example-
fair, the guards are going to be moving in groups of 5.
Cool.
They will only be able to attack at once, and they will function like difficulty 8 attackers.
Okay.
So you're not going to get attacked by 10 of them. Their HP is only 24.
As a group.
So, yep, they only get to attack once as a group. And you can take them down. When you get down that HP, they're all going to be defeated. They're effectively one unit.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Reuben runs over.
Mhm.
Goes invisible.
Oh yes, yes.
And starts phasing when he gets to the palanquin.
Oh yes.
And does the phase detonation.
Yes. Do it.
This is ease by 2 steps. Visible. Oh, hoping for a 12 here.
Oh yeah. Come on now, do it. Let's see it happen.
Chris rolled.
No, it's roll 2.
Everyone takes 1 damage.
Cool.
Oh, because you blow up on us.
No, them.
No, they all take 1 damage.
Oh, okay.
Not correct.
Oops. HP. That negates their armor, so it goes right through.
Yeah.
Yep. Got it marked down. Oh, good boy, too. Right.
I'm trying to not hit Blaze. If
Okay,
I can
cool.
be
Fair
within
enough.
range of Good Boy, but not Blaze, then yes. If not, then just the guards.
No, yeah.
Either
Blaze
one's
is
fine.
engaging, good boy. So definitely the guards. But yeah, you'd have to hit Blaze.
Cool. I'm prepared to try and quickly take out at least half of these guards
Makes
in the
sense.
next round, so we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Got a good opportunity to do so.
So, quick question.
Yes.
Since we knew that we were coming up against a challenge, was I able to see the future beforehand?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Also, I keep rereading this because I'm not 100% sure, but it reads to me like I can do it. I have the quick armoring ability, which gives me an hour of additional armor, and it's it's IO integrating and reinforcing clothing or cloaks, which
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You would have been able to do that ahead of time.
Well, specifically making sure that it would work with the living armor sheath.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have a whole 4 armor.
Excellent.
And
you all made sure you were full on your pools before this, right?
Mhm.
And full on recoveries. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yep.
I do 1 extra damage as I run by everyone.
Oh, okay, great. Let me mark that down.
2
Thank you.
separate instances of missing an
damage.
attack.
Excellent.
Quote, missing an
Fantastic.
attack and dealing 1 damage.
Wonderful. That is marked.
And there's just pixelated rents in the obsidian everywhere he's stepping as he's running. And it's
That
just
is so cool.
Every day Reuven gets faster, right? Like we're approaching full on flash bullshit. If I make a fucking lightsaber out of Speed Force in a second, everyone deal with it.
I love it. I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
All right.
I had never watched that show, and I found out about this the other day. I was like, this is the single stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm totally in love with it.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Okay, so the poison I can make is level 2, and I have to spend effort to make it stronger. I cannot spend enough effort to make it work on Good Boy. I don't think.
Yeah, I realize now that I might not have reinforced what we did discuss.
Oh, right. I
Yep.
forget what we said.
What we said is
Start at
that,
your tier.
yeah, exactly. You add your tier as effective base levels, and you can make a roll to try and determine what level of poison you want to create. So, say, for example, you wanted to have created a level 10 poison or
Mhm.
level 8 poison, right? You would count that as the target. You count your tier as like assets, and you make
Okay.
a roll with the remaining difficulty.
So you need a 9.
Yes, so you need a
Okay.
9. Yeah. Or you got your tiers. Tier
We're
5
tier
right now.
5.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
But you also could use effort or whatever.
That's right. You could. Yeah, you can apply effort, just like any other skill roll, in order to make it feasible to actually do stuff with the
Yeah,
poison.
because otherwise it's just
Otherwise,
They're,
it's just like,
they're not very good for
not even
anything.
an ability. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's not fun. Not for anybody.
Yeah, I want to try to do that.
Cool. Yeah. Go right ahead.
So it's going to be difficulty 3 int task.
Yep. So exciting, y'all. The dramatic stuff. You're trying to kick a dog into lava. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I did spend 2, so that means it's a 10.
Sweet. Yep.
And that increases its poison level. Does that increase its damage?
It depends on the poison. I think debilitating poison impairs.
Oh no, it
right?
doesn't do damage, it hinders.
Hinders. Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Makes their actions one difficulty level higher. So what that means is it's effectively going to ease any of the rolls you all make.
Mhm. So I've
If you
made
can.
that, and I want to load the needler with it.
Cool.
Yes.
Do
And
it.
I can't
Yeah.
attack this round with it also, no.
No, because that's an action to make it.
Well, you can go at the start of the next turn.
Exactly. Yep. Real good.
Spray and pray.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly what you need to be doing when there's a demi-dog on a palanquin.
A demi dog.
Yeah.
Dog only knows.
That's right. Only dog forgives.
I'm going to unleash my Hunter Seeker missiles.
Just do it.
Because I'm realizing if Faye knew ahead of time, he just would have made a bunch of these ciphers.
Why not? Yep.
Because they cap out at level 6 anyways.
Yeah. Did you create enough to cause a quantum singularity?
No. I can carry 5 comfortably, which I'll be honest, because I realized when I was looking, because it was either these or the magnetic drill attack, attack drills. And I realized, oh, these are even better because I just fire A at long range, and B, they keep attacking, which means my action can be send out another one.
That's right.
So here's my question. Do I get to just pick what type of Hunter Seeker it is, or should I roll just to figure out which one it would be? Because they've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types.
Yeah, with the ciphers, I think you're gonna roll.
Okay.
The artifacts, you would have been able to create them because, again, the ciphers are like cobbled together,
Right.
and it's like, hey,
And
the result is something unexpected, but
that's what I was thinking too. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll find out what the first one does.
yes.
It's a 16. All right,
Ooh, yeah.
so it will attempt to do 8 points of damage.
Ooh, awesome.
And I'm setting this on Good Boy because
Makes sense.
Reuven has AoE. So this intelligent thing, if it misses, it continues to make an attack. So I guess since it's level 6, it'll roll 7. it'll make 7 attempts.
Mhm.
Would I then roll? What would I roll for hitting?
Let's see. How did we do this before? Was it a ranged attack? I think you were making a ranged attack because it's programming or activating the cipher. When you are trying to affect someone with a cipher, you make an attack with it.
Okay,
If it's like a poison, that would determine whether or not it has an effect. And of course, we've made it
that's
so that,
best
hey,
stuff.
you
It's
have a
level.
means of possibly affecting someone when you hit them with the poison. But you put whatever you need into activating the cipher, because of course that can be skills, right? In addition to whatever assets you have available and effort. And then if it misses the first attack, it will repeat the attack again. You don't have to expend an action to do it using whatever you put into it the first time. So say you spend 3 levels of effort, you don't have to do that every single time that this missile is attacking on its own. You've programmed it well enough to make it do.
So then the question is, what am I rolling for that attack? Is that speed or intellect
This
or?
would be an intellect test.
This is the one fear I had, because I have a pool of 15 and 0 edge for speed. Okay.
Numenera or something like that. Some sort of your crafting or your Numenera or something like that would apply as a sort of asset or training.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah.
That's right.
Would crafting Numenera work as a skill for your attacking with these? Because it is.
It would if you made these ciphers.
Okay.
Which you just said you did.
Yeah, sure.
Oh Lord, this is going to be dumb, y'all.
Do it.
Okay.
Automatic.
Okay, so they're 8. Roll. We'll just add 3.
6.
Okay.
6.
All right. You hit. You do 8 points of damage. Is that right?
Yep, for that first one.
Cool. So the first one does 8 points of damage.
Good boy, as it strafes and.
Where does it hit him?
Oh, I think we're just like peppering his side.
Oh, peppering his side? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, cool.
It's the paladin too.
Ooh, yeah,
Probably.
totally.
Yeah.
So.
And then a little quip of "bad boy, bad dog." But she's not in here now, and I don't feel bad.
Okay, so Vet created a poison loaded up the Needler. Blaze surged skipping across the magma, attempted to strike Good Boy, and Good Boy moved. Reuven noticed that the bit of dimensional movement that likely aided Good Boy in that defense, moved forward and phase shifted when invisible, and that did a detonation, and then Faye activated one of his programmed hunter-seeker missiles. And those strikes weren't as effective until finally one of these hunter-seeker missiles weaves around across and through the terrain and crashes into the flank of Good Boy. And you see the explosion resound off of the palanquin. And it looks like the palanquin is fused with the ground. It's floating, right? But it looks like it is a stable feature of the terrain, which is bizarre, right? As though you know what this might occur to Reuven, right? Because this is how I think of it. Like features of a landscape in a video game that you cannot interact with. And that when sometimes people eliminate parts of it, a platform sticks around in midair and it cannot move and doesn't jostle at all. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's bouncing off of something that is placed there.
Stuck in the air in Skyrim.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Because they don't
an invisible platform.
They're not coded to have weight. So
yes.
they don't fall.
Yes, exactly. Yep. That's what it looks like. The effect. Cool. So Good Boy snarls in response. This release of emotion that seems bad, like a vicious dog, like a bad dog, like an angry dog. And then snaps his muzzle closed to try and restrain it. And those milky eyes. What'd you say?
Said he thinks he's people.
Yes. Exactly. And those milky eyes surge luminescent, whereas at first it seemed like it was an occlusion. The occlusion disappears, and his eyes are red now. So you see a small injury in the lambent coating on his body, exposing some hoary fur beneath. And after getting control of his emotions, he starts laughing like a hyena again, and he says, "Now it's my turn." And I think that is where we'll leave the episode.
Okay.
It's my
Making us
turn.
fight our dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm
Your dog.
very sorry that mom trained the dog poorly. I'm going to sign up for lessons and work on a relationship a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Need some obedience school.
Need some trust.
That's
I'm
right.
kicking all these motherfuckers into the lava next round.
All you talked about like hitting them all, and all I can think of is like the freaking spinning kick. I can't remember what it's called from Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm just like, yep, just Ryu or Ken's
Is it
little.
a Shoryuken, or is it?
No, because that's the Dragon Punch.
That's right. It's
It's like Tenzin.
I
Yeah.
just keep remember it. Shoryuken. Something like that.
Yep.
That's the sound that's in my head, even if that's not the correct pronunciation. Yeah.
Tatsumaki.
That's the one.
Okay.
Hurricane kick.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us and following us, being with us through this campaign. It's been so much fun. I'm so excited for the thrilling conclusion. The players set it up and have played such interesting characters that I am honestly a bit sad that I won't be able to continue running this particular story for them right now.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, please go right ahead.
They've got ads running right
Yeah,
now.
we'll wait a
I
quick
didn't know
couple
that. Okay.
seconds because we're not in a like trying to rush to the end. So
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
So I also realized this morning that there's like 2 subscribers, and I know one of them I think is Death Fox, who isn't in chat. So, but yes,
8 ads, Rip.
It's
Okay, right.
It's always 3 minutes. It's like it could be 1 ad, it could be 8. It's always going to be 3 minutes.
You never know. You never know.
Yep.
This is so good.
We might start streaming on YouTube, y'all. Like this Twitch stuff. But
that's what I'm talking about. Do it.
It was fine until they started like mandating ad times.
Mandating ad times, the 50-50 split, while YouTube is like, oh, it's 70-30 for everybody. We have way more followers and subscribers over on YouTube.
Twitch just stole the idea of the super chat from YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and then like did it greedily, and it's like, no, you fucking.
Yep.
Yeah. Like YouTube's is 70-30 and
for everything.
Twitch is doing 60-40 for the super chats, but also that doesn't account for the 5%. They're making the
user
pay the credit card fees, but credit card fees are only 3%, so they're just taking an extra 2%.
Yep.
Off the top.
And YouTube is just dragging its feet on adding any real features for streamers, but hopefully with everybody coming over or expressing interest in coming over, they'll fix it. But we'll see. We'll see. 45 seconds.
Hang out with fucking Aiden Ross. Cool. On Kick.
Absolutely not. I'm just waiting for that whole
the amount of money they're paying.
template.
Like even with our like 4 viewers every time, we ought to be able to get like $1 million contract.
Right.
Yeah, come on now. Seriously.
I'm not interested in hanging out with the pro gambling transphobes.
Turns out.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, we had ads yet?
15 seconds. I'm sure Perry will mention when they're out. Oh, well, Perry says back. Okay. Yeah.
So, as Ralph was saying.
Yes, as I was saying, it's bittersweet, right? The conclusion is going to be, it's very cool, right? And what you tell in the course of the last episode and the epilogue is certainly something I've been looking forward to, right? But it's also, hey, I wish I could run this more for these characters. It certainly won't be the last time we see Cypher System. But anyway, I want to transition to a discussion of what's going to be happening after the conclusion next episode.
So, after next week, I'll be gone for a week.
So we'll just take that week off.
Yeah, we're just gonna take that week off, and then our darling Craig is having some medical stuff, and they're gonna I don't know, do things to his body.
That was the gentle way
that
to
was
say
the
it.
worst possible
That was
way.
a really terrible way to say it.
That was not the discreet.
I was
way to
like,
say that.
I lost this sentence. You know,
That's
I
hilarious.
actually was telling, I had a partner the other day, like, you know, when you like are running down a hill as a kid, and you like are desperately trying to get each step underneath you,
Yes.
and you know you're just gonna like crash and burn. Like
Like you can
sometimes
see it
I
coming,
start
it's-
talking,
Yeah.
and I know that I'm talking faster than my brain is actually processing the words all together in one cohesive thought. I'm just like, you just gotta keep talking.
Yes.
Anyways,
Totally here for it.
when I get back, well, Craig's gonna be gone for about a month. And we will miss him dearly. But we also don't want to leave you all hanging for like 5 to 6 weeks straight with no content. And we like playing games with each other and things like that. So we're gonna play a little game that you might have heard me talk about.
A couple times.
A recent successful Kickstarter of Girl by Moonlight, which is a Forged in the Dark game. So if you have seen us play Blades in the Dark, or you've seen other people play anything like Scum and Villainy or Band of Blades, Fistful of Bullets or Fistful of Darkness,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what it's called. Or any of the other Forged in the Dark games, then you'll know a little bit about what we're doing mechanically. But Girl by Moonlight is a game of queer exploration and magical girls, and it is pulling on a lot of good anime tropes. And it sounds like we will be playing the playset that is called
Sea of Stars?
On a Sea of Stars, which involves the sort of magical girl transformation of getting in the goddamn robot, Shinji.
Yes.
And these folks don't know, and I haven't really fully thought out all the ideas yet, but we will have some big kaiju fighting happening.
Yes.
And the oppressive everyday existence of living in the last bastion of humanity, which is at this point a sort of military fascist, last remnant, because humanity has had to give up things to survive. And playing with those themes of what is it, what have you given up to survive, and then what does it mean to fight on, and what hope is there. And I think that these things are going to be doing some great things. And there is, I won't say definitively that we're definitely stopping when Craig gets back. If we want a mid-season character edition,
the Green Ranger shows up.
Yeah, Craig shows up as the Green Ranger, or Sailor, the last ones.
Sailor Pluto.
Sailor Andromeda.
There's a lot of sailors.
It's true.
They have done some sailors. But so I think you all can look forward to that. I think it sounds like we were not going to be doing a session 0 on screen, so we will just start in and tell you what we're doing and
meet the characters live.
Meet the characters live.
Also, Into the West is in production.
Yep.
So don't worry, that Mage has not disappeared off the face of the planet. I have a story to finish. Damn it. It's just going to be,
definitively, after Girl by Moonlight is Into the West.
It better be, unless something terrible happens.
Unless something goes horrifically wrong.
So,
But we have artwork being worked on.
I've heard that there are sketches, but I said I don't want to see them until I have all of them.
There's sketches?
There's
I wanna
sketches.
see 'em.
I want to see them.
Too bad. I've already locked Bren down. They know better.
That's fair. You are paying for
We are paying from the Patreon. Thank you, everybody, because you all pay for the art. As I'll be honest, I am far too cheap to ever pay for character art for my characters. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, I do character art all the time.
I know. But somehow Drifter still doesn't have character art. This is what I'm saying. Like, I just don't get characters drawn. Maybe that's
what's funny about that. I've said this to people, right? When I started playing with people who wanted some idea of an image of the character, that was so foreign to me because I've always kept characters look like in my head. Do you remember when we first started doing this in Mage and you're like, all right, sketches? And I was like, okay, that's cool, but this is really strange to me, right? Like, I love seeing other people's character art, but me doing it was just like, why would you want to know what my character looks like? You don't need to know that. I tell you.
Yep.
Outside of like grabbing a random image off of a, DeviantArt or something like that, I had never considered it. And then when we started the Rookery, Ash was like, "Hey, here's my Pinterest board and my playlist for my character," and I was like, "These are incredible ideas. I'm stealing immediately."
It's a great idea. Yeah, totally good. Yeah, and the art is wonderful.
We will see you next week for the conclusion of Numenera.
Yeah, Rise and Helix. Thank you so much, everybody. As always, if you wanted to join us on Discord, that's yeetinto.space. If you want to be join the other patrons, that's staylucky.club. Shout out to Monty Cook Games for making the Cypher system, and we very much look forward to seeing all of you next week.
Everybody be a good boy, good girl.
Yeah.
And it's Scared Paw.
No bad dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
No bad dogs.
Bye.
Bye.